Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And I know I say this a lot. I'm sorry I have not been posting on here very often. I've just been very busy with this being my last semester at school and also interning. I'm very glad I get to say that. But I wanted to do something a little bit special because Zootopia 2 just recently came out and it is the 64th animated Disney movie. What does that mean? Well, it means we finally have enough movies to do a March Madness style bracket. So I found this site that allows you to do brackets for anything. So I just thought it would be kind of cool to do. And if you've seen my top 10 favorite Disney movies, you know what my number one's probably going to be. And I have sort of an idea on what the last two are going to be, but I figured it'd just be cool to see like what everything would be lined up to each other. So I'm going to try to be quick with these. And by the way, obviously this is zoomed in just so that you guys can see it better. Well, we're starting with Snow White or Pinocchio. Now, both are revolutionary, both are beautiful to look at, but I think I enjoy Snow White just a little bit more, just for story purposes. Fantasia or Dumbo? Oh boy. Now, this is hard because I do really like both of these, but Fantasia is more beautiful to look at and much grander with its animation. That's not a dig at Dumbo, it's just better of the two. Bambi or Saludos Amigos. Now, if you don't know, Saludos Amigos is the first of the anthology movies, not counting Fantasia, just the first in a series that they did where that were made during the war because they couldn't afford to do full-length movies at the time. And also, if you're doing a marathon of all the Disney movies, it comes in handy because it's the shortest Disney movie. It's the bare minimum runtime to be called a movie. It's just a little over 40 minutes. And really, it's just the Disney animators going to different countries to get inspired for stuff, and we see shorts with Donald and Goofy. So it's kind of cool, but and yeah, I do think it's good and it's underrated, a bit underrated. But do I really want to say that it's better than Bambi? Probably not. Probably objectively not. Mm. Honestly, though, the I'm going to say honestly a lot in this video, so get used to that. Uh, best recommendation for Saludos Amigos is if you're a Spanish teacher and if you want to treat your students to a movie at the end of the school year. Three Caballeros or Make Mine Music. Well, I do like Donald. I don't really like Three Caballeros all that much. It just sort of it doesn't feel like it has a whole flowing story or even just multiple stories. It just sort of does one thing for a little while and then moves on to another thing and just kind of all over the place, at least in my opinion. Make Mine Music, I think, is actually kind of underrated because it's sort of like Fantasia, just with different styles of music, not just classical. In fact, I like it so much that see, Make Mine Music is the only animated Disney movie not to be on Disney Plus, and most releases don't have the first segment based on the Martins and the Coys. So I found an HD version of that. Disney, please don't sue me for saying this. I found an HD version of that first segment and bought a Blu-ray of the movie and put that in to make my own extended uncut version. Why did I do that? Because I don't have a full-time job and I don't have a girlfriend. So Make Mine Music gets to move on to the next round. Fun and Fancy Free or Melody Time. Now, Fun and Fancy Free is just two segments. The first one is incredibly boring. Bongo the Bear, who it's just incredibly dull. And the other one, Mickey and the Beanstalk, I guess is good enough to is much it's a lot better, but I guess averages out the whole movie to a C. Melody Time, like Make My Music, is a bunch of shorter segments, and I do like it as well. So that one gets to move on. Ichabod and Mr. Toad or Cinderella, which like Fun Fancy Free, that's only two stories, and Sleepy Hollow's great. Wind in the Willows is just all right, but come on, you can't beat Cinderella. And with that, I, Cinderella's great. Ah, boy, I have to choose between Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan. I like Alice just a little bit more than Peter Pan. I just think it's funnier. Lady and the Tramp or Sleeping Beauty. Okay, I have to be careful here because Lady and the Tramp was my dad's childhood favorite Disney movie. But honestly, I think it's kind of dull. The spaghetti scene is very cute, but not much else is that interesting. And Sleeping Beauty is not uh, one of my all-time favorites, but it does a few good things. I like the animation. I think the fairies are funny. Maleficent's awesome. She's such a great villain. And I do sort of like that it did a twist on the marriage at first sight that you see in a lot of the older Disney movies because And here it was set up as an arranged marriage, but they fell in love on their own and then realized, oh, we were set to be married anyway, so it all worked out. 101 Dalmatians or Sword in the Stone. I'm sorry to if anybody disagrees with this. I hated Sword in the Stone. It's boring. It just goes on and on. The fact that he pulls the sword out isn't even anything really built up. It's just done by accident, pretty much. And the part that really pissed me off, the boy's voice keeps when how do I put this? The actor went through puberty. The actor playing Arthur went through puberty, and uh they didn't record all the lines in order, so he keeps going from squeaky voice to deeper voice. It's really annoying. So 101 Dalmatians, again, not one of my all-time favorites, but it's way better than Sword in the Stone. Jungle Book and Aristocats, similar opinion. I do. Jungle Book isn't amazing in my opinion, but Aristocats is so unbelievably dull. Robin Hood and Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Sorry, Eli, gotta go with my boy. Rescuers of Fox and the Hounds. Now, I'll be honest, Rescuers surprised me. I went in thinking I was going to hate that because I never hear anybody say good things about it. But it wasn't awful. It was all right. I liked some of the shots when they're flying. I think the villain's actually very funny. But that's kind of it though. Fox and the Hound I like a lot more. The beginning is cute. The last act is incredibly graphic and violent. I love that all the advertisers just show them as kids. Middle's a little bit boring, but other than that, though, I think it actually is quite good. Black Cauldron and Great Mouse Detective. I know that there's a cult following for Black Cauldron. I'm not one of those people. I hated Black Cauldron. The boy is so annoying, and I hate Corgi or Gurgi or whatever his name is. It's just complete misery, misery in my opinion. Up there is one of my least favorites. Great Mouse Detective is definitely better, and ma that's mainly just for Professor Radigan. He's just so great. Oliver and Company, Little Mermaid, easy pick there. So Rescuers Down Under or Beauty and the Beast, and pretty obvious. Aladdin or Lion King. I am one of the few people who don't love Lion King. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't hate it. I like the animation, I like the songs, and I think Timon and Pumbaa are funny, but everything else I just think is okay. Yeah, it's not, and also, uh, I do think Mufasa's death is pretty tragic. It's, it was very ballsy for them to do that. But everything else, I don't know. I find it okay. But Aladdin, though, Aladdin is just so, like, pretty much perfect. The perfect Disney movie. Pocahontas or Hunchback? Hunchback. Pocahontas looks nice, has good music. That's about it. Hunchback is just so great and very dark for a Disney movie. I'm very shocked it got a G rating. Oh no, another tough choice. I have to choose between Hercules and Mulan. Hercules, just because it's the funnier of the two. Tarzan or Fantasia 2000. Uh, I like some parts of Tarzan. I really like the animation and I kind of like the Phil Collins songs. They're not that bad. But I don't know. I feel like it was weird that a good chunk of it is him as a kid, and then it goes to him as an adult where he meets Jane. I feel like they should have just done one or the other. Fantasia 2000, even though it's not as grand as the original Fantasia, and like a lot of people, I was not a fan of the celebrity segments. I think most of the actual animated segments are good. I'd love it if they did a cut of Fantasia 2000 where it's just the animation and they cut out all the live action stuff. Dinosaur Emperor's New Groove. Do I really have to explain my reasoning for that? Point me to the one person that would choose Dinosaur over Emperor's New Groove so that I can hurt them. Atlantis for Lilo and Stitch. Uh, I think the first third of Atlantis is a little bit slow. Once they actually get to Atlantis, it's a lot better. Lilo and Stitch, though, is just so great. I didn't expect to love Lilo and Stitch as much as I did, but I thought it was really good. Treasure Planet or Brother Bear? I'm gonna be totally honest. I didn't like Treasure Planet. I'm sorry to say. I just felt it was weird that they're throwing me into this weird world without any sort of explanation. And then other than that, it's just very straightforward. telling the Treasure Island story. Honestly, if you wanted a, in my opinion, if you want a good Treasure Island Disney movie, I'd say just watch the Muppet version. It's not even a joke. Muppet Treasure Island is actually quite good. Brother Bear isn't much better, but there's a couple of things I like about it. I like the backgrounds and the moose are actually kind of funny, and the bit with the echoes got a little bit of a laugh out of me. Home on the Range or Chicken Little. Now I know we're in another one of those dark periods, and I know everybody always puts Chicken Little at the bottom of their ranking order. And yes, the animation is terrible. Yes, the story goes all over the place. Yes, most of the characters are unlikable. Yes, there's random pop cultural references that don't make any sense. But you know what? It has a few parts that make me laugh. Home on the Range has nothing. It is a complete waste. So because of that, Chicken Little gets to move on to the next round. Meet the Robinsons or Bolt. Now, I haven't seen these movies in a while. I don't remember loving them, but I do think Bolt is a little bit better. Even though it does borrow a little bit from the first Toy Story. Princess and the Frog are Tangled, and this is another tough choice. Now, as much as I do love 2D animation, I do miss it. I think Tangled tells a little bit of a better story, so that one gets to move on. Winnie the Pooh 2011 or Wreck-It Ralph? Let me be totally honest. Didn't love Wreck-It Ralph because I was the trailer made me think it was going to be Roger Rabbit, but for video games. And you sort of get that near the beginning, and then after a while, it just you don't see many of the famous characters. But me being a Winnie the Pooh guy, I'd like to Winnie the Pooh 2011. And again, for you people like, why doesn't Disney do 2D anime movies anymore? Let me ask you this: do you see Winnie the Pooh 2011? I saw Winnie the Pooh 2011. Didn't see you at Winnie the Pooh 2011. Frozen or Big Hero 6? Frozen. Why isn't it working? That was rigged. Uh, yeah, Big Hero 6 has a lot of good stuff in it, but Frozen's, classic Disney. Zootopia or Moana. Moana again has good stuff in it, but I just really liked Zootopia and what it has to say. And just I love this world that they created. Ralph Breaks the Internet and Frozen 2, two sequels that many people are not the biggest fan of, but I actually liked both of them. Yeah, because again, the trailer for the first Wreck-It Ralph made me think it was one thing, but it wasn't. Ralph Breaks the Internet. The trailer was about Ralph and Penelope going through the internet and making fun of internet trends. You know what the movie's about? Ralph and Penelope going into the internet, making fun of internet trends. Sure, it's a little bit dated. It's a little weird to see Disney doing that modern of a story, but I liked it. And of course, the part that everybody liked, I loved the scene with all the Disney princesses. It's always just great whenever Disney makes fun of itself. And, Frozen 2, I don't think it's quite as good as the first one, but the music and the animation and the comedy, I think, are a step up from the first one. It's just that the story's a little out there. So between these two, I guess Frozen 2 is the better of the two of them. Actually, I'm looking forward to Frozen 3. Ryan the Last Dragon or Encanto? Okay, story time here, guys. So I did not grow up with with many of the animated Disney movies like a lot of kids did. I saw them much later, but I made the decision at one point that being an animation fan, I should see all of them. So when I got Disney Plus, I went through all the ones that I missed, and maybe it's just because I spent the last couple days before Raya going through Home on the Range and Brother Bear. But when I got to Raya, I thought Raya was great. Uh, Maybe it's just because I saw it's marginally good, but I saw crap right before it. But I love the action. I thought Sisu was kind of funny. I like that we do the twist villain pretty much very early, so we get that out of the way. We had another badass princess. We haven't had that since Mulan. But Encanto, I like the animation. I like the music. Everything else is okay. So I'm actually gonna go with Raya. Strange World or Wish. Like a lot of people, I was not the biggest fan of either of these. I think you sort of like again between Home on the Range and Chicken Little. Wish has a couple of things that I like in it. I don't I didn't hate all of the songs, and I thought what was his name Valentino the goat. I thought he was a little bit funny. Strange World is just a complete bore. And Moana 2 or Zootopia 2. Now that story I just told you about Raya, I made an exception with Moana 2 because as you may have heard, that was originally supposed to be a TV show. I don't know if the writer's strike or something else got in the way of that. They just sort of took the ideas for episodes and morphed it into a movie, and it just sort of reminded me when I heard of that of what they did back in the 90s with some of the straight-to-video sequels. And granted, it has more of a story than those, but I've heard from people that you could kind of tell when an episode, quote unquote, would have stopped because a plot point comes up and then they'll get go through it for about 20 minutes and then it'll never get addressed again. So I didn't really want to give money to that. So because Zootopia 2 is actually a movie and it's actually really good, that one gets to move on to the next round. Why? Sorry, that I don't know why that keeps happening sometimes. Round two, Snow White or Fantasia? Uh, I'm gonna go with Fantasia just because it's more gorgeous to look at. Bambi or Make Mine Music? Again, I do think Make Mine Music is underrated, but I guess objectively Bambi would be the better of the two. Melody Time or Cinderella? Again, Cinderella would be better. Alice in Wonderland or Sleeping Beauty? Alice. 101 Dalmatians or Jungle Book? Hmm. I think 101 Dalmatians just a little bit, just because it goes like almost immediately into the action, and Cruella de Vil is just such a great villain. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh or Fox and the Hound, Many Adventures, Great Mouse Detective or Little Mermaid, Little Mermaid. Ooh, Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin. Ugh. Aladdin just by a little bit. No, Hunchback and or Hercules. This one is dark. This one is funny. I'll go funny. Fantasia 2000 or Emperor's New Groove. It's another tough one. I'm gonna go Emperor's New Groove though. Lilo and Stitch or Brother Bear. Come on. Chicken Little or Bolt. Easy. Tangled or Winnie the Pooh 2011. Oh boy. Okay. Despite me being both a Winnie the Pooh fan and a 2D animation fan, Winnie the Pooh 2011 is very short. It's only a little over an hour. And it's definitely trying to be like the first Winnie the Pooh movie, just on a smaller scale, because it only has two stories, unlike the original that had multiple. So, sorry, Pooh. I gotta go Tangled. Frozen or Zootopia? It's a tough choice, but I think I'll go Frozen. Frozen 2 or Raya? Ooh. Mm. Raya. By just a hair. Wish or Zootopia 2? Zootopia 2. Round three. I zoomed out just so that you guys could see it a bit better. Fantasia or Bambi? Fantasia. Cinderella or Alice? Ooh, Alice. 101 Dalmatians of Many Adventures. That I not blinking at all when that comes up. Little Mermaid or Aladdin? Aladdin. Hercules or Emperor's New Groove? Emperor's New Groove. Both are very funny. Lilo and Stitch or Bolt? Lilo and Stitch. Tangled or Frozen? Ooh, that's actually a debate amongst many Disney fans as to which one is better. I think Frozen's just a little bit better, but Tangled is quite good as well. Raya or Zootopia 2? I'll go with Zootopia 2. Round four. Fantasia or Alice? Alice by just a little bit. Fantasia is very long. I do like Fantasia, but it's very long. Alice is just funnier. Oh, my top two favorites. I was wrong, actually. I thought these were going to be the last ones. Sorry, Aladdin. I gotta go with my boy. Emperor's New Groove or Lilo and Stitch. Oh no, this is getting harder. I thought it would be easier by now. Frozen or Zootopia 2, Frozen. Alice or Pooh. Ooh, why didn't it work? There we go. I don't know why that happens sometimes. There's New Groove or Frozen. Emperor's New Groove just because it's funnier. And wow, two movies that I don't think most people would call the best of Disney. The last two, but I gotta go with my boy. So here are my picks for the Disney movie bracket. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these. And also, I'm going to leave the bracket in the description so you can try it out for yourself. This is pretty fun, actually. So I will see you all in the next video.